Good evening, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and tonight we have a special guest. Her name is Tina Marie, and Tina Marie she's been in the massage field for around 4 years now, but a cosmetologist in the spa field for over 20. And she comes here tonight to give her expertise, anything spa related. She's willing to answer questions. So hit it, Tina.
Hey guys.
Yeah. And Tina is actually one of my past students that really blossomed. I mean, throughout the whole massage school, we called her Mother Hen, is what we basically called her, because anytime people had problems or anything, they would always go to her. So she's always that type of person that's going to go above and beyond again to help anybody out then. So, Tina, why did you want to become a massage therapist?
Well, like a lot of people that I've heard their stories lately, it was because of my own chronic pain that I first even looked into this field. In fact, my first semester of massage school really put me way above and beyond in my pain management for back pain myself. So I was a sold, person on massage therapy, and really before that, but certainly then. I had chronic pain for about 20 years or more, and never could get really to a place of true functioning, healing, and went the Western medicine route, and I didn't want to live on medications. I've already had 2 spine surgeries, so I was really looking at taking control of my own health care. And so I started looking into other types of, it was never suggested to me, which is really so surprising. It was never really suggested to me. All that time that I saw the best, spine doctors in the United States, it was really never a suggestion that they had. But after I understood it more, I have a lot of anatomy and physiology in my background. Boy, I thought, that makes so much sense. And as I started to feel better and feel stronger, I knew it was something I wanted to do to help others. So that's what originally pointed me in that direction.
So you were a cosmetologist before. What did you like and not like about that kind of field?
There's a lot to be said about the salon environment that I'm not, necessarily all about that. But I love the creativeness of cosmetology. We had a little bit of massage training in cosmetology school for the hands and the face, and I just always, put that in the back of my mind of if that's something I might go back to at some point, which also led me into this field. But I love the people. That each person was a puzzle to figure out. What they really wanted, what they needed, what was doable. What could be the best way to help that person. So, that was definitely a plus. There's some minuses to it. It's a long day on your feet. You're around chemicals all day. Some salons can be very chatty and gossipy, and I didn't really want to be in that environment. But there's definitely a lot of things about it that certainly helps me now in understanding just different processes and definitely working with people. I became an assistant manager at a salon when I was young, and that definitely is something that helps me now. Mm-hmm.
So the school of hard knocks, basically, then, right?
Yeah. That's right. Mm-hmm.
So did you have to hire and fire people too? And
I didn't I did more payroll and everyday management. I didn't actually do any hiring and firing, but I've been, down the road of life enough now that, that wasn't so big of a thing to jump into.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But now, how long has it been? It's been 5 or 6 months now since you're running the Lilac Wellness Center now, right?
Yep. I bought Healing Massage Health Center in April, but I started working there last October, and so Lilac, I can own it in another year or 2, but right now I'm of equal partnership with a chiropractic and office, and also an acupuncturist. So we're all together under the umbrella of a wellness center.
Okay. So with that, the nice thing about that is, do you guys share clients then too?
Yeah, I mean, I want to have more of a seamless system that we can share right now. You know, we're 3 really separate businesses, and we bill separately, and people check out separately, and you know, and that's kind of a hassle. I'd like to streamline that a little bit, but yes, we're doing more and more of that. You know, as I certainly refer a lot of my people on to the other 2 businesses, and they're starting to do the same. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then. I know you're really big into spa stuff. What was the best treatment so far that you've given for spa related?
Well, you know, there's some really just fascinating science behind a lot of the spa stuff. My filter with that is, does it do what it's going to say that it does, and is there a therapeutic benefit? So where I veer off from cosmetology is I don't want to just do things that make people look good, or they, you know, it smells good, it feels good. I want there to be a true therapeutic reason for it and results from it. So one of the things that I do is a contour wrap. It's a detoxification system, and people actually lose inches because we have so much toxic weight in our body. Another thing that I do is a treatment that's all based on sea kelp. And so that's really, it feels great in all of that, and your skin is fantastic afterwards. But the more important thing to me is that you actually absorb all of those sea minerals during the wrap, during the process. So it's very toning to the body. It improves your immunity system. You know, we all could use some extra minerals and botanicals, so that's a nice one because it keeps on giving, you know what I mean, back to your body days and weeks after your session.
Yep. And then what was that big your other business, the place where you worked before, was that a big, it was kind of like a cocoon thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was an alpha system. And it's all based on alpha wave technology. So the person lays in there, and it heats. Now the newer ones, Ryan, are just, they look like they're straight out of a space movie. They actually have water. You pipe in water to them, and they have steam. You know, so that's fantastic. If I had room for one in my present shop space, I'd definitely do that, because that gives you so much flexibility and what you offer. But anyway, it's like a sauna, but your head is out, which is so great, because then you're not cooking your brain. So, but it gives you lots of different options, and it has a massaging pad and a heated pad that you lay on, and yeah, it's really nice. You would mostly find them on cruise ships or higher end spas.
And then they have music in it, right? Too.
Yep, it's music. Yeah, it has aromatherapy. It's all, touch screen. You program it for the person, and they can change things, throughout their session.
Have you ever had anybody get claustrophobic in one of those?
People that thought they were, I just really took it slow, kind of step by step, and I showed them they could get out at any time, and they're not like active there. It's not like hydraulic lock or something. But most people that thought they were going to be bothered by it weren't. I just maybe didn't do like a 40-minute session. I maybe did a 20-minute, just to start them out with. But most people do fine. Okay. Because your head is out and there's cool air actually blowing on your face the whole time, even though your body's getting heated up and sweating. Okay. Yeah. So it's.
And do people tend to have a little bit of odor then afterwards, just because they're sweating so much? Or?
Not really, because to tell you the truth, because usually I would do some type of an aromatherapy oil on them to kind of prep their skin, or whatever it is I want them to absorb. So maybe it's sea kelp, so all of that has like a really nice smell to it. But also when you're doing a treatment like that, your body is detoxifying, so a lot of the bacteria and toxins that make our sweat smell are leaving your body, so it's not trapped in the skin anymore. So really, it's a very clean feeling after you get out of there and take a shower, or, you know, wipe down. Otherwise, you feel very, very clean.
And do people usually urinate a lot more after those things too, because they're...
And that can be.
Yeah.
That you can be.
Okay.
So, hey, girls.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my daughter in the background. Sorry.
That can happen. What I really, you know, what you really stress in any type of treatment like that is to drink a lot of water, you know, the rest of that day into the next day, because your body's going to continue that detoxifying. Mm-hmm.
And I've heard from some people they don't want you to drink as much water afterwards because then you're going to start gaining some of that water weight back. Is that true in a way too?
It depends how you store water, you know, and there's a lot of variables to that. For the most part, people don't drink enough water, so me saying increase your water by 2 or 3 glasses isn't going to put them over the top. You know, it's probably going to put them even at that point. So, you know, we way underestimate our water needs most of the time.
And with aromatherapy, do you get into aromatherapy a lot now still?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what are some of your favorite oils and why?
Oh, wow. There's such fantastic aromatherapists out there, and I don't consider myself one. That's a whole science unto itself. But I do keep some really good manuals around. I have a lot of oils in my room. Sometimes I'll use single ones like, you know, peppermint or lavender or rosemary. But some of my favorites are actually pre-blended, like 2 or 3 or 4 oils at a time. Some of my favorites are a detox blend, so it's your more citrus based oils, grapefruit. I can't think. Chamomile can be in there to kind of buffer it a little bit. Geranium, and then there's just some really comforting ones for a lot of people. Might be mixed with ylang ylang, might be mixed with lavender, rosemary. Frankincense is a really fascinating oil to me. Has so many medicinal uses. Really, all of the oils and botanicals that you would find in the Bible are really fascinating to me. And I own most of them, but I sure am, you know, really enjoying learning more and more about them.
And then, what do you? I mean, in a small environment, I mean, you got, was it 4 treatment rooms or 5? I can't remember.
We have available to us. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
4. Yep. With aromatherapy, how does that work in that environment? Because I know the rooms are kind of close to each other.
Right. We have our air filter system on all the time. So the overhead filter, and then my room, I probably use the most oils of all the therapists, and my room has its own air filter as well. So really, it doesn't really leave the room.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not like soaking people with it. I'm more what I've been doing lately is I more work it into my own hands.
Okay.
Before I massage their face and their upper body, so they're getting all of the aroma benefits, but it's not all on them. And the oils that I use in a carrier oil, you know, are diluted down enough that once I take the sheets and the blankets and all out of that room, it's pretty much cleared out, you know, with the air filter.
Okay. And what do you specialize in right now?
I'm really specialized right now in, I think the correct term would be heated connective tissue release.
Now say that backwards.
No, my brain doesn't work that way. Yeah. So that has been really awesome for me. I've used a lot of heated therapies for a long time, and so now to learn Pillowsage was really right down my alley. My customers absolutely love it. And, you know, definitely nobody fights me on it, believe me. And, you know, nobody fights. If I say, can I use a heated, you know, flax pillow on your back, you know, or your shoulder or whatever, they're like, okay, you know.
Has that kind of changed your opinion about hot stone and stuff? Because I remember you're kind of big into hot stone before. Is that kind of...
Right. Well, it's so much neater. You know, it's so much easier to do. You have more control over it. I have lots and lots of different sizes and shapes of flax pillows, and I can just pull from a whole treasure chest of what I need. I'm a little more limited with stones, and to me, a good hot stone massage is wonderful, and it is a spa therapy, and in its own right, it is. But what I have been finding is it's easier for me to work in the heated flax into my everyday massage. I use some form of it every massage.
Do you ever get those flaxseed pillows with oil at all, or is it just totally with the clothes on or with the sheet on then?
I'm usually using them over the sheet. I do have covers for each of my, washable covers, of course. So I could use them directly on the skin, but they're pretty warm when I take them out of my cabbie. So my cabbie's about 170. So they're pretty warm by the midday, end of the day. So I'm using them right over the sheet. It feels the most comforting to people that way. If I'm doing deeper tissue with them, I just will maybe have a towel, between them and the pillow, or a thin sheet. Yeah.
Are they scented too then?
They can be scented. I have a few that are. Most of them that I use are not, because then I have the option of using my own, aromatherapy. But the ones that I sell, I noticed a lot of people do choose ones with scent because they want that therapy at home as well. Yeah.
And then what kind of things do you sell at your business?
Well, because we are actually have 3 different businesses there. We have the chiropractor that works with me is very versed in nutritional therapies and enzyme therapies. So he has a lot of those types of products, vitamins, minerals, enzyme, powdered drinks. Our acupuncturist is very knowledgeable in Chinese medicine. So she will often make like dried soup mixes and different herbal remedies that she makes herself and grows herself. And then I myself have the flax pillows, all different shapes and sizes. I'm just getting into some aromatherapy products, and really kind of new tonight is the fact that I'm actually talking to some companies right now developing my own line of very simple, very pure, very high quality aromatherapy products, skin products, bath products, massage oils.
Well, you could have warned me about this before, but now you're just going to bring it on to the live audience. And
well, it just seemed like a great time to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm just really taking my time with it because there's so much already out on the market, and I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. It's just after 25 plus years in this industry, as far as skincare and care of the body, care of the skin, I know what I want, and I know what I want to represent, and I know what I want to use on my clients, and I'm just offering that then to the public, basically. So I'm in cahoots right now with a couple different companies that are very talented at making what you desire from very high-end products, and we'll see how that all shakes out.
Are you going to make them for clients that they can bring home, or make them for salons that they can use them on their clients, or?
That's an interesting thought. My original intention was for clients to take home, to just retail out of our shop. But I, thinking kind of bigger picture, that would be something I might look at in the future.
Okay. And are they just going to be more blends then, would you say, or are they going to be straight essential oils then, or?
I think more blends. I think there's some companies out there that already do the straight essential oils very well, and so I won't waste my time, mixing it up with the big dogs there, because I think they do what they do very well. But It would be more my, particular blends, my particular types of care, things that have been tried and true for me over 25 years of using products. So very simple but very effective would be my bottom line.
Yep. And then somebody asked, do you consider essential oils transdermal nutrition?
That's a really that's a really great question. I've never thought of it in those terms, but I'm certainly not against that terminology. I mean, to me, a lot of essential oils do have, those types of qualities to our system, to our health, to our body. So that's a very interesting term.
Okay. And does your essential oil line involve decisions about FDA requirements for CAM products?
That's a great question that I don't know the answer to yet, because this would be being made through a company who already makes these types of things. It's already regulated, in their field. They're already accomplished, in their field. So I think I have a little bit easier go of it that way than to start from absolute scratch. So, but that's a great question, and definitely one, I'll be looking into very, very shortly.
Yep. Can I have the first sample then?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think the big difference between a massage therapist, a medical massage therapist, and a spa therapist? That sounds like a joke, doesn't it?
Yeah, the medical.
Yeah.
That's a good question. To me, a medical therapist, would kind of be in the confines of a medical clinic, and be very focused on whatever the boundaries of that clinic was, from what I have seen. Now, there might be, medical therapists out there that have their own definition of that. A regular massage therapist, to me, specializes in many modalities of massage therapy. With there being so many known modalities, I feel most people tend to specialize in 3, 4, 5 maybe, and be very, very good at those. But that's pretty much their scope of practice. A spa therapist has an added element of body treatments, probably a lot more, a lot more bounds of aromatherapy. And not that the other spa therapists couldn't, of course they could, and I think they do to some extent, but a spa therapist is more relational to true spa therapy, which can be, heated elements to that. It can be body wraps, it can be facials, it can be, a lot of different treatments going on at once.
So what category would you call yourself?
Definitely, I'm a true spa therapist.
Okay. Spa diva, what?
Yes. For me, after 25 plus years in cosmetology, going to massage school after I turned 40 was really coming full circle. It was adding that piece, to what I have to offer that I've always wanted. That piece had been missing. So to me, it's really coming full circle. It feels very natural to integrate all those things. I would say a true spa therapist really integrates all of those elements. And where people that I know that are massage therapists tend to be more, focused, more narrowly focused on massage therapy itself.
And since you're in an area that doesn't have the spa facility like you did when you were a manager before, what kind of treatments do you use now then?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I had to kind of change my menu quite a bit from the spa to the wellness center, because I need to think everything in the confines of a dry room. But you know what? There's a lot of things to offer actually in a dry room situation. You have to be really creative. You have to be very creative. So there's times that I miss having a shower and having a really nice bath facility, But really at the end of the day, if I really do a good job and I use really the best, quality products, and I really meet that person where they were and help them to where they needed to go, they're happy without the shower. So you just got to get really creative with the type of products and processes that you use.
And what do you think the big difference between mud and seaweed?
From my experience with that, there is a difference in the standing temperature of it, in the room temperature of it, and and there's so many types of mud, there's so many types of clay, so it's kind of hard to generalize here, but the seaweed can have a more slippery consistency to it, depending on what type you're talking about. The type of seaweed that I use is in a gel form, so it's very nice to work with. It goes where you put it. It doesn't run, or it's not thick. It actually totally absorbs into your skin, and anything that would be left over can easily be dabbed off with a towel. But it really it's fantastic to work with. I was so glad to find that.
Yeah, and then somebody mentioned to me a long time ago that the seaweed, the more it smells like seaweed, the better it is for the body. Would you agree with that, or?
A long time ago, yes, not anymore. I lived to see the day that they have what they did in the products that I use is they freeze dried seaweed, and then they put that dry powder into a base of, in this sense, it's like aloe vera gel and a whole bunch of great stuff that makes up this gel, a whole bunch of botanicals and essential oils. So it was dehydrated, freeze dried, I guess, seaweed, and then they reconstitute it in a sense into this gel. So and it doesn't have the smell. It doesn't have the smell because all of that makes seawater smell so bad in things. All of that has been dehydrated out of the seaweed that I use. So there's really no smell to it.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, years ago that would be very true.
And
because it would be fresher.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is it as messy still too, the new products that they have, or okay.
No. Yeah, that's what I love about the system. There's like several steps to it. There's an exfoliation step, which is wonderful. And then the seaweed itself is in a gel. They also make it in a clay, but I use the gel because it's a dry room. So I use the gel. It almost completely absorbs into the skin. Then there's a wonderful shea lotion, shea butter step to it, and then I just do a very light massage. Kind of more of a, in the direction of the lymph system. So your skin feels wonderful, it smells wonderful, and there's really no mess.
And then David from the Massage World Record asks, how long do seaweed-based products last on the shelf, would you say?
These that I am using right now, I have had elements of it, for well over a year and a half. I don't know what the manufacturer recommends. It's at least a year. I know that. Yeah, but it's very stabilized. That's a great question. Because years ago you couldn't. That was one of the problems with working with seaweed. It was how do you keep it and how do you keep it fresh? But it's in a very stabilized consistency, and the things that they mix it with, plus the great essential oils, really help to preserve it.
And is there a big difference between like red clay or green clay or all these different kinds of clay?
There are, and I'm no really expert. I just, I know what I use and what I like and for different situations. But, and of course, now I don't use a lot of clay because I am in a dry room. But the green clay tends to be very detoxifying, if you think of green tea like that as well. And that's always a good bet. And then there's other clays that are better for what they put into you. So they would put minerals and moisture into you. And then there's other clays that what makes them great is what they take out of you. So they're more detoxifying. So there is a big difference between clays. There's a big difference in their origin, of where you actually get the clay from. So it's something you got to really put a little research into. And probably it's good. Now with the web, you can do so much research. and hear other people's take on that. You know, like maybe they've tried it and they didn't like it. Well, why? You know, so therapists have so much more information at their fingertips now. They can really do some homework before they put any money into it.
And would you recommend, I mean, in some states there isn't regulation with massage, so the average massage therapist can technically put stuff on people's face like clay and mud and everything else. Would you recommend that, or what is the process of going through for safety-wise?
Well, what I found is a lot of the big companies that make spa therapy products also provide training. And there's, in a lot of places, you know, kind of a gray area for massage therapists that if you go through the training for that product from that company, you're golden then. You know what I mean? You have the training, you have the certification for that product, and you can use it, you know, you can use it how it's written. You can use it how the protocol is written. And
do you do anything with paraffin?
I don't. I just never really hooked into paraffin. You know, and you would think me using so much, you know, heat therapies that I would. I just see it as a big bumble mess. You know, it's just a lot to work around, and I can get those results other ways. You know, if I really think about it and think it through. So, like, what people do for paraffin dips, you know, for like hands and feet, I can do for the whole body, so why not? Yep. You know, so and forget the paraffin, you know. Sorry, paraffin companies.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've had paraffin spill on the floor before, and not pretty. That's it's right. Impossible to get off. And
there's just too much risk of, you know, it being too hot and dripping it on someone. I don't use any hot waxes whatsoever.
And then David asks, what is your most encountered allergy when using products on clients?
That's a great question. You know, in all of the stuff that I do, and I use so much essential oils, I have not had anybody have a true allergic reaction. I screen very well. We have all those questions on our health form, plus I ask them, plus after they're on the table and I'm ready to start, I actually ask them again, because a lot of times they'll have like forgot something, and I just put it in terms of, do you have any allergies to plants, trees, flowers, grasses? And by the time we run through that, you know, that line of questioning, I pretty much know what I need to know. But honestly, it has been my experience, if you're using pure essential oils and you use them wisely and you're not over, you know, they're diluted properly, you're not overpowering the person. I've never had anybody in 25 years have an allergic reaction.
What if somebody's allergic to seafood, like with seaweed and things like that?
Yeah,
or, I mean,
definitely, that's a great question. Yeah. I do ask that question because it is in the literature from the company, from the seaweed wrap that I use, if you had a seafood allergy, you could have a reaction. So that's definitely a filter, you know, that I use. And if somebody was allergic to seafood, I would not use it. I would not. I would suggest, well, let's go with a different type of wrap today, but try to get you the same result.
And Darcy mentioned there usually is no allergies to true therapeutic grade essential oils. Would you believe that's true?
Yeah, that has been my experience.
Okay. And what?
And again though, I mean, yes, always, you know, ask them. Always run it through your filter system. Always have those questions on your health forms. But I have never had anybody have a reaction to pure oils.
And what would you do if you had a reaction, though? Run.
Well, since I'm in a dry room, that's a good, you know, because you really want to get it off immediately. You'd probably want, if you're using a heat therapy, you'd want to stop, you know, because that's only going to make it worse through the skin. So you'd want to cool them down. You'd want to use a very neutral, even aloe vera, you know, gel, to kind of help them wipe that off, and, do the best you can. Send them home for a shower, is what I would say. But to use something very pH neutral, for them to, start to wipe that off with. Thankfully, that's never happened, but that, in my mind, you should always be prepared for that. Yeah. And a lot of times, if you're not sure, do like a patch test, and just, use that solution on the inside of their forearm or the inside of their leg and see, wait a few, like 10, 20 minutes and see if there's any skin reaction.
Would somebody asked, would milk help that too?
Milk, that's a good, I know back in the old days we used a lot of things. That's a great suggestion. Definitely, if I had some on hand and there wasn't anything else that I was using that would make sense, definitely. I wouldn't hesitate to use milk.
Okay.
Unless they had a milk allergy. Yeah. You can really start to add insult to injury there.
Yeah. Is there any certain treatments that you would probably stay away from, especially if they're pregnant?
I do stay away from strong. I mean, in several aromatherapy books that I have, they do list essential oils to stay away from for pregnant people. I can't rattle off a whole list right now, but I know I do check that when I do a pregnancy massage. So there is an existing list of essential oils to stay away from, and I probably wouldn't do anything that had a really high detoxification element to it, because you're sending all the toxins of the mother also into the baby during that process. So that's not something I would do. I would have them wait till after they deliver. But we do our share of pregnancy massages, and it's just it's really a privilege we feel. To be able to massage pregnant moms. They always fall asleep. They're so tired. And we do a lot of more kind of lymphatic massage as far as, getting the swelling out of their legs and their hands and whatnot. We might use a little bit of lavender or something that, and if they're not sensitive, some people are when they're pregnant. If they are, I just use straight grapeseed oil or jojoba oil. There's nobody I've ever had, a bad reaction to that. But if they want a little lavender or something, that's fine. And we just really make them comfortable, and they just kind of lull off to sleep. What's really a neat experience is when you're doing a pregnancy massage and the mom is asleep, but the baby is awake, and the baby starts kind of following you, around the abdomen, and really interacting with you. It's really a neat experience.
Okay. Yeah. And what other trainings have helped you to where you're at now then?
Definitely any type of management. So jobs galore, when I was younger. People skills, definitely. Any job that had a fair amount of people skill related to it. I was in Mary Kay for about 15 years. That helped me a lot. That's one of the best self-help courses a woman can take is Mary Kay training, because it really teaches you how to speak in front of a group and how to be an encourager and how to represent products and how to help people choose the best products for them, best types of things, so our best colors or whatever. But that's all good training. And so but that, what I do now, you wear a lot of hats, during the course of a day, and so sometimes I gotta just really clear my mind before a massage and be able to just be a massage therapist, because the rest of the day I'm 5 or 6 different things. So but there's a lot of training in people's background that would help, that's going to help you. None of it, I would have to encourage people to say, none of it is for naught. All of it is for a purpose.
Yeah. And one word I'm going to say is bodybuilders. Can you expand on that?
Well, it's so funny because, I'm so much on the relaxation and spa therapy end of the scale, but yet I think, it's neat what comes into your life and what comes into your practice to kind of keep you sharp. Is I do have bodybuilders that I work on, and it just, I had a couple of them that really connected with me, and then they gave me good referrals. So that's how I ended up with them. If they have very specific problems, I do usually refer them on to one of my therapists that works more with sports therapy or deep tissue, if that's the thing that they're really needing. I'm glad to do that. But I do their body work as far as getting them ready for a show. There's a lot of tweaks that we can do with them to get them really looking great and be at the top of their game. So I do their body work and their spa work.
And then didn't you actually go out to Las Vegas too to help them out?
I did. I've been to several shows now, and my thing was, if you guys buy the ticket, I will go.
Okay.
That particular instance, their big finals were in Las Vegas, so I got to go to Vegas. Yeah, it was great. And I met, trainers and athletes from all over the country, and it was a fantastic experience. I was kind of the backstage mom. I know it's such a stretch for me.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to that, though, because you are really under pressure. This particular one was for women, and they are under so much pressure that that judging day, and they've just really cut their diet so severely, and they're really exhausted, and they have to hold these poses for what probably seems like ever, and they're starting to really cramp up, and they're very fatigued. So you got to really be the one with the cool head, and keep it all together, and keep your team facing forward.
Would you say that actually helps tone a little bit too with the massage beforehand? And
oh, definitely. Definitely there's a toning element to massage. So I just take it a little bit further, and we kind of rotate them. We do massage, then we do some spa work, and then I do a contour wrap, and then we do massage, and we just keep rotating. That has seemed to be the best protocol to get them ready for a show.
And even during massage school, I used to tease you all the time because you only wanted to do light stuff. So you threw that right in my face. So.
Well, yeah, that was actually my first thought when I started to get my first bodybuilders. I'm like, oh, Ryan would never believe this.
And then I know you used to do tanning stuff before. Do you still do tanning things now?
Not at my current location, but that was a great experience. Again, just working with skincare, working with the public. But no, I don't at this location. That is a area though that massage therapists are totally open to do. It just takes some training, and even if they don't have room or access to a spray tanning type of facility that like I had, there's a lot of really great lotions now, self-tanning lotions that massage therapists can apply. And so they, somebody can come for some body work or massage, and then you end with the application of a tanning lotion, and let them dry really well. The person gets dressed, they leave with a tan.
Is there any products that you recommend? Stacy asked that if
for tanning itself.
Yeah.
Gosh, names are just kind of leaving me right now, but there's some great tanning products out of Florida and out of California that are just really phenomenal. My suggestion would be call these companies, get some samples, try them on your friends. And it is different too. It's different tanning a man with a lot of body hair than it is a woman with no body hair. So you got to think through all those things. There's probably you'll probably want 2 or 3 different types. Some of the gel tanners are actually kind of interesting to me. It's kind of nice to work with a gel, but it's really going to be individual of what you're comfortable with. So, the massage therapist would wear gloves, of course, and they could be also applied with a brush or a sponge. There's different ways to do it, or a very, very soft cloth. They're kind of like a velvet cloth. So there's different ways to do it. It just takes a good eye and for you to know your product.
And then somebody asked too, so you've actually used these kind of products that you've actually put on the body, not just the spray tans, other stuff too, then, right?
Right. I've experimented some with the other products as well. I was actually kind of working on developing a foam. It was a liquid, but it came out in a foamer, and so you're actually applying. It's kind of like hair mousse consistency, and so it was really applying the foam, which was really a neat product to work with. That's probably one of my favorites there. But yeah, I have tried. Probably the lotions are my least favorite because they can build up, so easy. But there's all kind of ways to get there. It's really a matter of personal choice and just trying some out.
And is there any products that you can remember using, name brands at all that you've used?
Not right off the bat.
Okay.
There's just so many,
Right.
and just in the year and a half or so that I've been out of that industry, it changes again. There's so many more that come on the market. So, but there's some fabulous products out there. Get some samples and do one leg with one leg with the other. You have to do a lot of trial and error.
And then with the spray, what should you look for when somebody's doing a spray tan? Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that that they might not be qualified or might screw up or?
Yeah. Well, a common mistake is just going way too fast, way too much. It's just way too thick, way too fast, and then it doesn't develop. It's better to do a very, very thin airbrush coat, let it dry, then go back and do another coat. And you can do that 3, 4, 5 times, depending on how dark the person wants to be. If they just want just a nice, light, healthy color, that's probably just 1 or 2 coats of it. But that's a common mistake. People just go way, way too much, too fast.
And then Stacy asked, someone who can make my fat look like muscle.
There is a certain art to that, actually. If you can find a tanner, Stacy, in your area that does airbrushing, there is kind of an artistic bend to that. You can make it a little darker in someone's abdomen. Every couple steps, it kind of makes it look like they have 6-pack. For me, when I was doing somebody that's very voluptuous, let's say, I do a darker coating, a darker color right around the perimeter. So like the outsides of their legs, under their arms, under the soft part of their arms, because it does make it visually look thinner. It's just it's just an artistic trick.
So there's actually some thought behind a lot of that.
So you want to go to a person, that's been doing this for quite some time, becomes highly recommended, because they're going to understand the art part of it, probably a little more.
Okay. Do you ever get into ear candling at all?
I didn't. I kind of tried it out a little bit, but, I read so many not great stories, on the internet from ENT doctors that had fixed, some not well done, ear candling mistakes, that I just decided I'm not really passionate about it, so I didn't pursue it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what kind of weird treatments have you seen for spa out there?
There is everything. There is everything imaginable because, it's just like any other industry. Somebody's going to think of something to try to sell as the next best thing, So, there's all types of spa therapy with chocolate, actually chocolate on the body, like a chocolate gel or a chocolate clay or, like that, which there's a lot of really great health qualities to real cacao,
Can people gain weight with putting it on their body?
No, that's the great thing. It's not mixed with sugar.
Yeah.
It's just straight cacao. So it's a great antioxidant, if nothing else. When it became popular here a couple years ago with the acai berry. Some people say that different, like a acai berry from South America, and pomegranate and blueberry. You know, I've seen all kind of mixtures with those. Here lately, I've seen a lot with pumpkin. A lot of different products with pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
So yeah,
I've never heard of it.
it's actually fantastic for your skin. It's got a lot of healing qualities to it. So that's probably something I'll play with a little bit this fall. The Massage Warehouse even carries a pumpkin massage oil and some spa products. It's right on their website.
Yeah, somebody says 'tis the season.
And you know what? At Christmas time, I offer aromatherapies with frankincense and myrrh. So, you know, it's like I said, they have, you know, there's great, spiritual aspects to massage, but also to essential oils. So, you know, it to me, it's what the therapist is really into and is passionate about. But yeah, like every season, you can do something that is, you know, somebody's going to get a kick out of, you know. So even at Christmas, to offer more peppermint, you know, in your products, you know, get a peppermint treatment. That's always great. So, and men like that as well, and it feels great on your muscles. So, you know, there's always something really every season.
And I know with body reps, I've read that you're not supposed to shave your legs that day, or is that true, would you say?
Yeah. Oh. In fact, I did a body wrap last night that uses a very, very strong blend of cinnamon family. So it's very strong. It's a very strong detoxification wrap. And I forgot to tell the person, you know, not to shave. And she shaved that morning. And I thought, you know, and looking at her skin, I knew we'd be okay. But I just said, you know, I'm so sorry that I forgot to mention that. You might really hate me at the end of this evening, you know? but it turned out okay. But if she had really, really light or sensitive skin, I might have, you know, said, you know what, we need to wait until tomorrow or another day. But yeah, that's true. That's true for any spa treatment that you get.
Do they have to wait even like 24 hours afterwards to shave their legs, or can they do it soon afterwards, would you say? Or
I would wait. I think it's a smart idea to wait, you know, another day. Sure. Because a lot of the detox wraps that I work with, they continue working at least another 16, 18 hours after they leave me. So, you know, it's like the least disruption to the skin, the best, you know, for the better. Mm-hmm.
And then we were talking earlier about the tanning products. How long do you have to wait to take a shower after that?
That really depends upon the product. Usually they have to develop at least 4 to 6 to 8 hours. So I'd go with the maximum time of 8 hours just to get the most out of it, you know, that you can.
Yeah, and then also, isn't some essential oils you're not supposed to have the actual sun to afterwards, or?
Oh, sure. And of course, anytime you're working with some of the citrus oils or anything that would contain, you know, a natural form of vitamin C. I know a lot of our skincare, you know, can contain vitamin C. You want to be really careful of that. Anytime you're working with skin products that contain glycolic acid, you need to really be careful of your sun exposure. So, yeah, it's all things to know about and to advise your people accordingly, for sure. And another thing I'll tell you about tanning products, they do want to shave, you know, the day before or that morning. That's okay. And they do want to, the best tan they're going to get is if they exfoliate, you know, the night before or that morning. They really need to exfoliate the dead skin off. But you cannot massage and with your heavier oils and do tanning the same day, because what's going to happen is they're going to absorb they're going to absorb so much of the oil. Like say you use avocado oil or safflower oil or whatever it is, and then it acts as a block to the tanning products. So it's not something you do on the same day. So when I say massage therapists can add that to the things that they offer, it's not that they could come for a massage and then get a tan. It's that you'd be applying, you know, the tanning products for them as part of another spa service, you know, that you offer. So maybe you could apply tanning products and do some reflexology, on their hands and their feet, because that's not areas you're going to tan. So
yeah, because I know with self tanning products, everybody complains about getting stuff on their hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is why you're going to wear gloves or have another type of application, another type of applicator, whether it be a very soft, it's almost like a chamois kind of cloth, or a sponge, or a brush. There's different ways to apply it.
And then when people are working in an actual salon, should they get a massage first and then have their hair done, or their hair first and then get a massage, or what kind of products lead up to each other?
You'd want to definitely do the massage first. If you can't, there are ways around that, and that's fine. What I hated about, trying to work around all that is if somebody got a manicure first, because then you got to be so careful around their nails if it's not set, and you're going to smudge their nails on the sheet, and they're going to fall asleep face down, and their nails are going to be a wreck when they're done. So there is things to think through like that, most definitely. But you just have to think through what types of products are you going to use on that person, and does that line up with the other services that they want to get done, and then you can kind of see in the course of their time with you, do you need to be first or middle or last? Okay.
And somebody asked about the tanning stuff. So you can't use the tanning products as a vehicle for the massage, so like kind of dual treatment? Do you have to just do it separate, or?
Yeah, it would have to be separate, unless you do reflexology or a scalp massage with it. Okay. That would be totally great. So what would work for a massage therapist is do a hand, foot, and tan treatment, and do a little bit of reflexology and just, deeper work on their hands and their feet, and then do the tanning.
And have you ever done anything with a Vichy shower, or?
No, I've seen it done, and I've seen them, of course, but I haven't really worked with them a lot myself. Yeah. And
have you done anything with brown sugar scrubs or salt scrubs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course not now because I'm dry room, but yes, I used to use a lot of them. A lot of them.
What did you prefer? Did you prefer the brown sugar or the salt, or?
Well, they all have their place, definitely. I've even worked with there's a finer, I like the finer milled things. I don't like it so chunky because it can be sharp and it's a little too irritating, like big chunks of salt or sugar. Usually they're too big, so I like things that are milled a little finer, so it's more like microdermabrasion in a sense, you know what I mean? But I like the mixes that aren't so goopy. They're kind of already in the exfoliating product is really already in the lotion, or it's already blended. Then it's not. I don't like it if it's too messy to work with. But I've done just straight oil and sea salt scrubs with a little bit of aromatherapy, and they're wonderful. They feel, the people were really happy with the results. But that's when I had a shower, right next door. So, but there's some other. In fact, there's a product that I use right now. And I think Massage Warehouse actually carries something that's very, very close to it, and it has a citrus blend to it, but it's kind of like apricot kernels. But what I find is they absorb the cream part of it, and so then all you're left with is the apricot kernels, and you can brush it right off with a body brush or a towel. So therapists could absolutely do that.
Okay. And then I know you hire massage therapists. What are you looking in for a good therapist? What kind of qualities?
Right. Well, that is a great question. I want them to be very confident in their touch. I want them to have a sense of direction of where they want to go. I'm definitely going to want to know what they're passionate about, so that I know how to not only book them and who to book them with, but how to encourage them to keep training in those areas. And at the end of the day, it's just like any other business. Can you do what you say you're going to do? Can you show up to work on time? Can you put in a good day even when you don't feel like it? It's just all those work ethic qualities as well. Are you an honest person? Are you going to really care for your clients? So those are all really important things, as much as your technique and what you know and what you want to know. There's other things that are as important to me, if of what type of work ethic you have.
Are you looking for people too that kind of have a following already for massage?
That's nice, but I know the right person, even if they didn't have a clientele, the right person that knows how to market themselves and really cares about what they do and really is passionate about this field, they're going to build a clientele. Right now, I'm turning away business because I don't have enough people. And this happens every week. So for the right person, it's wide open. So I'm not going to just judge it on, if they have, all this spectacular, degrees and accreditations in a following. I really want the right heart of a person too, because that really, at the end of the day, that's what's going to make a difference.
Yep, so true. And then somebody said attitude is everything, along with giving a fantastic massage.
It really is. It really is. Because we do a lot of counseling, and in a sense, we do a lot of training with our clients of how to do self-care. And, they just had a great massage with us, but here's some things they can do at home in the meantime, until they come and see us again. And you know what? They so appreciate that. The clients so appreciate that. That's part of your customer service, and that, customer service is king. So it's somebody that can really, go above and beyond just the massage room. Mm-hmm.
And then what is your focus currently in your business, would you say?
Definitely the heat therapies. I'm big into that. I'm actually doing some case studies right now. I'm using heat therapies with some clients that I have that have fibromyalgia. I'm doing a lot of work with fibro people. I want to do a lot more training and a lot more, get a lot more experience in lymphatic work, because I have a lot of clients that absolutely would benefit from that. And then the retail end of it, that's kind of a new piece for me, and that's a big focus for me right now. Mm-hmm.
And what is your philosophy with your business, would you say?
Really, it is, our philosophy is wellness, of course. That wellness is our passion. That's kind of our byline, and everything really has to come down to that. So is what I'm doing for this client, what I need to do to get them on the road to wellness, and how do I keep them there? So that's really what we ask ourselves every day, every client.
Okay. And why did you decide to branch out on your own then? I mean, you're doing good, working as a manager and stuff. So what gave you that push to go out on your own? And
well, what I have found through life is sometimes you get the push when you want it or not. It'll just be circumstantial or whatever, but
yep.
And you have to recognize those things, when they come your way, and don't take every change that comes as this stress, in your life, because maybe it's a needed change. So certainly everyone has those kind of situations, but I think probably my age comes into play. I love to teach. And I love to mentor, and so that's really what I need to be doing at my age now. So is kind of mentoring in the next generation, And so when I'm looking at, I probably can't physically do the workload that I'm doing in 10 years that I'm doing now. So how do I need to position myself, and what do I need to be doing in my business right now that I'm going to be able to still be in this field that I love very dearly? And so for me, the answer is you need to have your own business, and you need to be employing other people that love to do what you do as well. So, and then the retail end of it is another, if I develop my own products, that's another, kind of longevity thing. Teaching would be a longevity move for me, but definitely I've always known I was going to have my own business. It was just a matter of when. And so that opportunity came, and I was ready to jump on it, and That's where I am.
And somebody asked, is the guy in the background making dinner? It's okay. He can finish up. It's live.
That's my technical advisor.
Oh.
So he's just making the rounds, making sure everything's running smoothly.
And it is, and he's doing a great job of it. Because this is your first time on Skype, so he had to get you set up. So.
Right.
Then somebody says he's making cocktails.
Actually, he was going to make a smoothie.
Okay. Oh, healthy crap. No. And what would you recommend? What are some things that you've screwed up in the past, or you can say other therapists have screwed up in the past that it would be great for people to learn from you?
You know, a common mistake I see therapists make is, you know, sharing way too much information, way too much personal life information. We don't need to know every time your cat has a hairball. You know, that's how you know. So that's one. You know, you need some personal boundaries, you know, between you and your clients of you know, that are healthy, and that's not involving your clients in your personal life or the other way around. So that would be a common mistake. A technical common mistake that I see is therapists, and maybe because they've never had, you know, a lot of pain or chronic pain, because, you know, maybe, you know, they've been very fortunate in their health or in their young age, so they don't finish. Really, they don't have a nice finish to their strokes. They don't go all the way down the muscle. They don't go all the way down the limb. They kind of like, you know, static step it. You know, it's kind of like stop go, and they don't have like a nice follow through. That's a huge mistake to me, especially in my field. I am all about, you know, smoothness and consistency, and that's something, you know, a client that's new to me will always say, oh my gosh, you know, you have such a nurturing touch, or it's such a pretty stroke, or, you know, what they're meaning is, you know, you follow all the way through. You know, there's a smoothness to it, there's a rhythm to it. So that's a mistake that I find in therapists. They don't have a good rhythm and a good routine down. It's very staccato, you know, in its rhythm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then somebody says, I always turn the conversation back to the client-centered.
Yeah. Which is a great deflective move, you know. Yeah, that's a great thing to master.
Yeah. And then with having your business, what are some of the biggest challenges?
Well, I mean, it's just like every small business, not being scared, you know, about the economy, and all the, you know, economic news that can hit you. You know, it's looking out for your people. You know, that's always a worry. You know, it's not really different for me than any small business on a certain level. It's worrying about, you know, making payroll and making rent and all of those things. So it's not for everybody, you know, to own a small business. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure, because there's a lot of things that you worry about. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's about us doing quality work every time, being consistent. Our you know, our kind of byline that we use with each other in the shop is customized every massage every time, you know, and that's really our focus. So it's doing quality work, and really, you know, through slower economic times, just keep doing, you know, doing your best, but be looking for new ways, you know, to work as well, new ways to market yourself, new products. So maybe there's a niche in your area, you know, to retail. So it's keeping your eyes open.
And then David asks, what's your opinion on gender requests in a spa?
I'm probably wrong person to ask because I've really almost always worked in female-oriented environments. I have worked with one male therapist in particular in the past that I would absolutely, refer anyone to, and that's great, to have that. But in my current business, we have female therapists. They have tried male therapists before in the business, but they just never, worked out. They never built the clientele. That doesn't mean that will also be true in the future. I am building a very varied, well-rounded team. So if somebody, a male therapist came to me that really was passionate about more, sports therapy or physical therapy and did, massage, I would definitely be all ears. It's just finding the right person.
And where do you see your business 5 years from now?
Hopefully very successful.
What it already is. Come on.
I'd love to keep, working on building our team. I'm not a bigger is better person, so to me it's not about, how much square footage I have and how many massages we crank a day. Really, it's about the quality of our work more to me. We're going to, at some point in the very near future, outgrow our space. And so then I'm looking at making choices of, do I move the business? Do I buy the business out and just, expand into the other rooms? There'll be a lot of decisions to make at that point. But that's a good problem, and even good problems have stress to them, so you just have to take each one and use a lot of wisdom. I'm certainly not beyond asking other therapists that are beyond me in experience and beyond me in years for their opinion and how did this work for them or what do they see about this. So I kind of cross those bridges when I get there.
Yeah. And what about 10 years from now? Retired?
Semi-retired, writing books, teaching. Yeah.
What kind of books would you like to write?
That's an interesting. Probably more in this field, definitely. Probably inspirational of some type. If not, if I eventually develop some protocol of my own, then writing books that are specific to that, tech manuals, but probably knowing me, it'd be more encouraging or inspirational.
Okay. And you said earlier in the show that you might want to get back into cosmetology a little bit. What area would you like to get into again?
Not so much back into it, but I'm sure there's going to be parts of my cosmetology background that come to the forefront from time to time, and especially like in developing this skin and like kind of a bath line and skincare line. That definitely brings that into the forefront again. But there's a lot of days and weeks on end that I just do massage. And I do spa therapy sometimes, and then there's other weeks I do spa therapy a lot, and I do, massage once in a while. But really, I'm more massage therapist than I am anything else. So.
And what kind of areas do you want to branch off to in massage? Would you say like specialties? I mean, you're into pillow massage now, but any other things that you really want to get into? Would you say?
Well, I really want to keep going in that area. I think there's so much to be learned. Like I said, I'm working with fibromyalgia people. I really want to learn a lot more and develop some protocols for chronic pain, any type of inflammatory disease. I work with a lot of people because I have that myself, so that really lands with me. That really connects with me. So I'm sure I'm always going to be, trying to go further in that field. And definitely I want to learn a lot more about aromatherapy and use it a lot more medicinally than I am now. So those are all areas I'll continue training in and developing my business in as well.
And then you mentioned something in the past about when you're receiving a massage. I mean, you got to be aware of your own body, and you kind of found something out before the doctors even did.
Yeah.
Is it okay to mention that stuff?
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, and just as an encouragement to the massage therapists out there, you know, I always say you guys are on the front lines of healthcare. You really are for a lot of your clients, because a lot of Western medicine doesn't touch the patient anymore. You know, I had very, very large tumors in my uterus for years, I guess, and they were missed because you know, there wasn't that kind of structured, you know, physical going on in my yearly exams. So by the time they were found, which they were actually found by a massage therapist, I was really, really late in this process and really dodged a bullet with female cancer. So I really just, you know, want to encourage the therapist that you develop such a sensitive touch, and you know your clients' bodies and what's normal for them and what's not, and if there was something new to arise, that you would probably be one of the first people in their lives to know that. And especially, you know, when I am working on people and I'm working on their back, and they might have a lot of different sun damage, you know, and skin discolorations and moles and things like that. They're not looking at that every day, and probably most of their family members are not either. But you see them, you know, on probably a pretty regular basis. So you can see changes in someone's skin. So, you know, that it's just all the more important that we have a good, you know, conversation. We have good dialogue with our clients, and that you notice those types of details and what you feel and what you see.
Yeah. And then somebody mentioned earlier about fibromyalgia. Would you say heat is good for people with fibromyalgia, or does it vary from client to client? Or
it does vary. I was a little hesitant to use heat because I thought, you know, they're a lot of times already in an inflamed situation. But from what I'm finding so far, and kind of just doing my own research with this, is for the most part, they love it. They really respond to it. It's loosening up their joints. I'm getting much deeper into their muscle fibers without hurting them, you know, without a lot of, they're not resisting, you know, touch. So there's no pokiness, you know, of your finger or your elbow or you know, of your forearm. You're doing it through, you know, through a pad. So, and the heat goes a long way. The heat and a little bit of weight of the flax goes a long way of really getting down to the structure level with the fibro folks. So far, heat's been a great thing for them.
And with fibromyalgia, I mean, is there any other diseases or things that you really want to get into too for studying? And
well, definitely all of the inflammatory diseases. You know, I myself have osteoarthritis, so that really hits home for me. But really, all of that family of arthritises or, you know, inflammatory diseases. I'm also very interested in lymphatic disorders. I myself have lymphedema and have always struggled with that in my legs, and know how that can feel and what a relief it is to have somebody that really knows how to work with that. So that's another great area of interest for me, that I can kind of come from a place of understanding, you know, to help other people. Mm-hmm.
And with so your treatments that you use now for spa, what is your favorite one, would you say, that you for dry room?
Oh yeah, probably the seaweed one. Yeah,
okay.
I like that a lot. It has so many. I mean, it's great on everybody. You know, I've never had anybody that didn't really enjoy it. You know, one of the popular ones that I do is a contour wrap that people actually lose inches. That's very physical though, so I don't always love it. You know, there's days that I'm like, oh god, but it is, you know, very, very common. But probably the seaweed one is one of my favorites because it's just wonderful results every time. It feels great, it smells great, it's great for them. So to me, it's a winner, hands down.
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
That will be a few years from now, probably. But we're all learning and growing along the way, and I try to really be a person that learns something every day, and just try to keep a teachable spirit. There's so many great therapists and teachers out there to learn from. I try to do, when I can't do training live with someone, which is most of the time that I can't, I try to at least watch some videos on YouTube every weekend. On Sundays I usually do that, just maybe like for an hour. And it's so fascinating, just there's great therapists around the world doing their thing. And I pick up a little bit of something from everyone. And so, I mean, that's such a great opportunity for today's therapists of what's available on the web as far as training and education.
Have you thought about doing snake massage? Have you seen that video?
No.
Yeah.
Won't be doing the snake. Yes, I have seen it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with flax packs.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
And I've even seen little fish that they put in, and then they eat the stuff off your feet. And
exactly. And that's what I mean. There's always going to be, a lot of variety of what's coming at you. And so, you have to kind of figure out what you're passionate about, what fits in your style, what fits in your life, and I don't worry too much about all the rest of it. If somebody calls me for the fish, procedure, I will be glad to refer them to you.
Yeah. In the microwave, what? And what kind of requests do you guys get at your spa? What is the #1 treatment, would you say?
Definitely straight up massage. The business that I own now was definitely more on the medical, clinical end of the scale. So that's what people are used to out there. I was really the maverick bringing in spa therapy, to the business that I'm at now. So I'm really making that switch over, but I don't want to ever lose the heart, of the business as it was. So everything is therapeutic, that we do, like I said, but most of the time that the phone rings, somebody's looking for an hour massage. Sometimes they say deep tissue. I really have to ask them what that means, because that can mean 10 different things in this town. So, so having just a little bit of conversation, I try then to match them with the therapist that's, to me, the closest fit to what they're looking for. Mm-hmm.
And then, deep tissue and relaxing. Was any other requests that you get for massage related, or?
Other than people see that we do spa therapy and they call with, questions about what is that, what does that mean, what are some options there, and I'm glad to talk with them about that and kind of just lead, by a couple questions I can pretty much kind of size up what their needs are, and then, be able to plug them into the right system. But most of the people that call us are looking for massage. Then it's a matter of really discerning from there, because to me, there's a great big wide area in between relaxation and deep tissue. There's a whole, area that sometimes to me is not addressed. That's really kind of a hybrid or a mix of those two. So it's not an either or to me. It's more, how do we customize what we do to fit best for that person's needs? And most of the time, we're all really given a hybrid of massage. I'm pulling from therapies from around the world for my clients. One of my most regular clients, a man that I have, he's an athlete. The first time I gave him a massage, I really was questioning, exactly what he needed, and so I really threw in, several different therapies, literally from around the world. And when I was done, he went, "Wow, I have never had a massage like that before." And I'm like, you know what, you're right, because there's no doing it quite just like that, because that was like several different, modalities all squished into one.
Yeah. And have you ever had to turn anybody away?
Because we're too busy?
Or just because you think there's a pervert, or you think that they're let's say a disease or something like that. Do you think it might be contagious, or?
Right, that's a great question. I'm trying to always be, ready for that, because I know that numbers wise that I need to always be ready for that. We try to do a lot of training in those areas, so all the therapists are always up on that, and so nothing scares them or freaks them out. And they know what to do, and they know how to think on their feet. I've only had one person that I've had to tell not to come back, that we wouldn't see this individual anymore, because I didn't like, how the session went, and it made me very, very uncomfortable. And at the end of the day, I have to think, would I leave this client alone with any of our therapists? And the answer to me was no, and so then I have to cut it. I got to draw the line there. Yep. But that was one person in 4 years. And I've been very, very fortunate.
And then David, he's from Las Vegas, does massage there, and he says, do business in Vegas. You'll get plenty of use out of that training.
I feel for him. I feel for him. I've been very, very fortunate. And, when I worked at the day spa, we were a private spa, so we were very protected there. But I can imagine, people in much more public businesses than I have, deal with that on a pretty regular basis, and, bless their hearts, for keeping their professionalism. Mm-hmm.
And then, is there any other things that we haven't covered, you think, that need addressing?
Well, I would just encourage, as far as spa therapy as a whole goes, I would just really encourage all of the, massage therapists. To tell you the truth, I've been in this field a long time. I've been teaching. I've been doing this for a long time. I honestly can say that I would rather teach a massage therapist how to do spa therapy than I would try to teach a cosmetologist how to do it. And there's several reasons for that. One is the massage therapist just has a more natural touch. They have a greater understanding of the body. They have a greater understanding of structures, of the body. And a massage therapist that is really wanting to learn and passionate about learning different types of body treatment, say, is much more teachable and is going to be naturally better at doing it than a cosmetologist with limited training in the body.
Okay. And then David asked, this is a really great question, how do you increase morale in a time where there aren't many clients on the books at that time?
That's a great question. I try to use downtime as training time, so that our time is always valuable. My therapist's time is always valuable to me, so I'm never going to be okay with people sitting around moping about anything. If we have downtime, we're going to learn something new. Pick a topic, we're going to learn something new. Or we can gather everybody and go to some place in our city and, hand out cards and do chair massage on a corner somewhere and just, stir it up a little bit, make a spark somewhere. So I always want to use downtime as opportunity, definitely. And so we don't get a chance to really get down about anything. I'm not gonna let that happen. It's kind of like when kids are little and they make the mistake of saying, "I am bored," and then you have a whole list of stuff for them to do,
Yeah. And then somebody said, my MTs leave when there are not massages to do, and how do you keep them in the office to take calls?
It's just an understanding we have. It is in the contract, in a sense, that we have different levels of pay at my business, and somebody that really is a great helper, and I see that really, I never have to ask them to throw in laundry or answer the phone, is going to be paid at a different rate than somebody that, you know, is a drive-by therapist, you know, that just stops in and checks the books and is gone. You know, I don't have any of those, thankfully. I think all the people that come to me kind of really see how we work as a team and see what we do, and, you know, follow suit, or they don't come in, you know. So I haven't had that so much, but I think it's but I have the advantage of kind of starting this way. So everybody knows they work hard, but everybody works together and they profit from it. I mean, they're much more well paid than I am. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah.
And then somebody asked, if a business advertises hours, there needs to be MTs on staff, right?
I let them really generally choose their own schedules, but I do try to make sure all of our hours are covered. Definitely. But that's not so much been a problem for us, but and some of the therapists prefer morning hours and some later, and then I fill in, you know, anything in between or anything that's not covered. So right now we have it covered pretty much, you know, 9 or 10 to 8 at night, and that's enough. That's a good work day.
Okay. Okay. So is it okay if people contact you through Facebook?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Is if they have any other kind of questions at all, so I'll put your profile in there so people can contact you that way.
Sure.
So, but the thing is, it's okay to delete their comments if they keep bugging you, all right? No.
Well, I mean, this is such a great field, and, you know, I just want to encourage the massage therapists out there that they absolutely make a difference in people's lives. They absolutely make a difference in their health. I think as we go down the road in changes in our country, with different types of health care, you know, arrangements and different insurance things that will happen in the future, you'll become all the more important. I find we have an almost recession-proof business, because when we're in hard times and people know they are really living dangerously close, you know, to bankruptcy or whatever it is, they also know they have to take care of themselves. And my business has grown in this economy, and it's all people that started to take themselves a lot more serious. So I am absolutely thankful for all of the massage therapists that, you know, dedicate themselves to this field and this profession, and I hope you all do well. Okay.
Thank you for the words of wisdom, Tina. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. So again, if anybody wants to get a hold of Tina, I'll give her her personal number too. No, just joking. Okay, it's 411. No. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Tina.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.